Alrighty then. Like my new hat? I dig my new hat. I'm not necessarily a Phillies fan, but I really like this hat. I love the colors. Long story there. We won't go into that. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today, you guessed it, trumpet mouthpieces. I feel like that's a recurring theme here on this channel for everyone. But anyway, what I have found online was a very old Vincent Bach New York Corporation 7 mouthpiece. And it actually has a period after it, and I didn't go look that up in advance, but I know that that probably means something in the old nomenclature schema, but I don't know what it is. But in any event, this is a 7C-ish mouthpiece, but it's just a 7, so maybe that dot means C, maybe not. But I've really liked the Artisan Series 7, which I think is this one. Yeah, so here's a 7C Artisan versus a 7C from yesteryear. Now, I would imagine, I feel like this thing has been refinished, but maybe not. I mean, it's in really good shape. It just has a tiny chip down at the bottom. But, right, that Artisan Series, other than, I mean, it's hard to say just because it's gold that it's a little bit different. But the cup on this one is definitely deeper. So this has a deeper cup, and frankly, I like a little bit deeper cup. That's why I like the Schilke 13B a lot, because it has a bit of a deeper cup. But man, I've been playing this one in my Da Vinci horn here, and it is kind of the only mouthpiece I'm playing at this point. So I'm on this kind of mission now to go find all kinds of old 7-sized mouthpieces from Bach. I wonder if you go through the same thing that I go through with this. Like, one minute I'm talking about modern new age trumpets and the latest, greatest technology and you know, all this cool stuff and Lotus this, Lotus that. And then I'm back to like a horn I've never even heard of that's got a teeny tiny bell on it. And nothing other than the heavy and bottom and top caps that's different in this weird shape here. And then a very traditional, not evolved mouthpiece at all. And you know, for my kind of playing, perhaps this is true for you too. You know, I watch a lot of videos of the real pros, the guys that really do this for a living, and girls, excuse me, the people that do this for a living. And the subtle changes of things like this can probably make humongous differences for them. But for someone like me at my playing level, this isn't in any way marked, really, at all. I don't get any real benefit out of any of the hundreds of mouthpieces that I've tried. What it comes down to, and perhaps this is what it should come down to, is what it feels like and the confidence and the musicality that it inspires to come out of you based on how good you feel playing it. It's like putting on a nice pair of shoes. You know, if they feel really nice and comfortable, you know, you just forget that they're there and you go about walking, you know, as best you can or doing whatever you were doing. But if they're uncomfortable, too tight, too big, you know, they have too much grip, they're too slippery, whatever the case, then you end up focusing more on the shoe than what they were intended to do, which is to help you get around. So same with the mouthpiece in a lot of ways, in that if you spend as much time as I have focusing so much on this nuance and that nuance, and if it's gold and silver and bronze and nickel and this size, this shape cup, that shape cup, well, you know, there's a lot to be learned from going through a process like that. You know, I'd have to argue that at some point you have to just go, hey, this is what I play really good on, and I'm going to stick with that. Now, I haven't decided just yet to purge my entire collection of mouthpieces, but I would imagine at some point I'm really going to stick to just the same couple of things for pretty much everything. And I've kind of decided in my own mind to narrow it down to the equipment that works best together with me, right? So we've got this mouthpiece that works awesome in this horn. So the Bach 7 period works really good in the Da Vinci horn. I have a Lotus Gold Generation 3 mouthpiece that's sitting in my brass spire 916B horn that I think works really the best in that horn. And then I have a Yamaha 12 flugelhorn mouthpiece sitting in my 933 flugelhorn that I'm playing from brass spire right now. I think that the best mouthpiece on my Schilke flugelhorn is actually a Bach mouthpiece, the Bach 7 FL. So really, I'm kind of all over the place with this, but honestly, I'm okay with that because I feel like I've come to terms with the fact that whatever works best for me and inspires me the most to play my best in whatever horn I pick up, that's the combination of equipment I'm going to use going forward. And I would encourage you to do the very same thing if you're in any kind of journey as a comeback player or gone down this rabbit hole as I have with, a million mouthpieces later. That's kind of the conclusion that I guess I've drawn from this whole thing, is that in the end, what feels best, despite the fact that I'm playing a size 7 now, which is tiny, and it's in many ways against everything that I was taught as a player when I was younger, that you just evolve and you get bigger and bigger mouthpieces. What works for me today is a 7 in this particular horn, and that similar size in these other mouthpieces in the other accompaniments of horns that I have. But again, it comes down to really just what feels right for you and what makes you the best player you can be at that moment in time. I don't do a lot of gigs that require a certain kind of playing. I'm very fortunate in that regard, and that I play whatever I want to play, obviously because I write all the music. But perhaps this won't hold true for anyone that's doing very specific orchestrations and written composed pieces where you have to play and sound a certain way in an orchestra or a band or whatever it is the setting whatever the setting is you're playing in. This may not hold true, but for all you solo guys like me, and let's be honest, I basically play trumpet just for fun. I play a lot of this kind of stuff on videos, but honestly, I just pick up the horn throughout my day and play it because it gives me a lot of joy, and I really enjoy that part of it most. I still do a lot of recordings only because I can't really let it go, because the profile has grown big enough where I have followers of that particular style of music that I've been creating, and I feel like it would just be a detriment and just the wrong thing to do to stop it altogether. But I've really slowed down my cadence. I do a song a month, so I'll do 12 songs. I doubt I'll even put out a full album this year because I don't have the fan base, and this isn't negative, it's just the reality. I don't have a fan base that would support the fact that I put out a record. Nobody's going and buying this thing physically. It's just streamed wherever it's streamed online, and for most of it, it's just my own little bit of a legacy that I'm leaving behind, that my kids and their kids perhaps can say, oh, look, Grandpa used to, play trumpet, and here's some songs he did. But that's about it. So I really enjoy doing this just for the pure... You guys ever see the movie The Ninth Gate? I don't know if you have or haven't, but if I've just inspired that and you go watch it, it's one of my favorites. Old Johnny Depp movie. But anyway, he's out there looking for books, and I don't want to spoil the whole thing. And he comes across this one gentleman, I believe they're in France. And he's just sitting in the middle of this gigantic home that has this interesting collection of books. But he's just sitting there in the corner playing violin, all by himself. And that's what I liken this to, is that I'm doing this for me. I enjoy doing it. And if you feel the same way, that's awesome. Feel good about it, because I really do. I enjoy the fact that I love playing just for the sake of playing. And I think there's really no reward better than that. Not making a living, touring, traveling. I've never done that really, so I don't know how to, I guess, make a reasonable comment about that. So I kind of won't. But for me, I found that just playing is really the truest essence of happiness that I can get out of this thing. And I'm really glad that I came back to playing trumpet and found that again, because without it, I don't know what I'd be doing. Maybe still playing in guitar bands and punk rock. Who knows? But I'm really digging the trumpets. This is a really cool horn. With that, have a good day.